So when did I start carving? I started carving for myself was 20 odd years ago. I got shown how to carve mushrooms and got bored of carving mushrooms, and then gradually developed to carving other things. And I always liked bears. Always liked carving, but in South Africa, this is where, you know, from my little business in the shopping centre, a small section on the Natal South Coast near Transkei, Shelley Centre. I sold carvings from Zimbabwe and Malawi, and they were animal carvings.
Really?
Yeah, hippos and elephants, and
Didn't
they were awesome. Yeah, well, it's all art. Art is everywhere, isn't it? It's kind of, it's beauty. It's kind of, and then that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah.
It's hand, and it's all time and effort and perseverance. It's persevering, just carrying on and on and on. Everything I do, I've got to try so much harder, I feel, than other people. I always have to. I don't understand why. It's always been like that with me. I don't have an education. I was rubbish at school, but anyway, so I've always been a more practical person than mathematics is rubbish in my. Yeah, I can't.
You've always been better at like, the practical side of things rather than
Yeah, and woodwork was the only subject at school that I kind of did reasonably well in. Yeah, the rest I was rubbish. Right, so woodwork was the only one. So I've always had a love for the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into like when you actually start carving, what do you look for in just a normal piece of normal log or something? What do you look for before you start carving?
So it depends what I'm carving. It depends what I'm carving. Different wood for different things, right? So tomorrow, if I'm going to start carving this 6-foot bear, then there's some good bear wood there, which is I think it's Douglas, or it could be a bit of cedar. I'm not too sure until I cut it. I can't see, but I think it's Douglas fir, which is ideally if it's wet, then it carves even easier.
Really?
Yeah, you can get the shapes, but when it's dry, it goes. Yes, yeah, it does sort of crack a little bit and chip off a little bit. So, yeah, so it'd be nice to sort of get on with that.
Then I am trust. I'm doing you a favor. Doing you a favor. Despicable. I'm just a bottom feeder. Despicable. I ain't never been the keeper. Despicable. Lover than a leaver. And if I were you, I wouldn't love me neither. If I were you, I wouldn't love me neither.
The only way I learn is by trial and error. Trial and error. Keep bumping my head, do-do, and eventually, go that way. Right? So I don't know. Whatever I do, I find is really difficult, but I get an enormous amount of satisfaction out of it.
Yeah.
Out of this is life. I'm no spring chicken, right? I'm 57 and going on to 58. I'll tell you, and I can still maneuver a bit. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Have you ever like thought about the future and everything? Or
A future. I'll carry on till I drop.
do you?
That's my future.
Okay.
I'll carry on till I drop. Since I started this new lifestyle, well, for me, right, I 10 years ago, or 8 years ago, whatever it was. No, 9. About 9 years ago, I think, something like that. I basically didn't have a clue about nomadic lifestyle, and I got this Iveco van, no insulation initially, and headed off to Exeter. And we had a heavy snowstorm, a heavy downpour of snow that year. Right, it was